Arlington's annual Veterans Day commemoration. You're most welcome. Every year the crowd seems to get better, despite what the weather may be. My name's Phil McGovern, the Veterans Service Director for the town of Arlington. Have been for just over 2 years. As many people here are aware, I am going to retire from this position. I have about 15 years credit as a Massachusetts public employee, which includes time when I was an assistant attorney general in my late 20s and 30s, and the time here. This job has been a tremendous experience, and this town and its care, concern, and pride in its veterans, in its veterans community, in their families, is tremendously impressive. I believe we've done a lot in the past couple of years on many fronts in not only the delivery of veteran services to veterans and their families, but also in development of that community through the Arlington Veterans Council. It's something that Arlington has had for quite a while. It's an appointed council, just like any other committee of the town, appointed by the select board on the recommendation of sitting council members and the Veteran Service Director. 5 members. We've spoken about expanding it potentially. Not all veterans, it's mostly veterans, but some veteran family members. The essential qualification to join it is the desire, the intent to serve the community in the interests of veterans in the town, and their integration of veterans into the community. And we've got John Fitzpatrick here. He's an attorney. He is an instructor at Harvard Law School, an Arlington resident, and he is the chairman of the Arlington Veterans Council over the past year. The council has become much more of an active, community-owned, resident-owned, and led body. Been active in a number of things that many of you have heard about, including the Veterans Oral History Project, which the Secretary of the Council, Bill Hayner, has been particularly effective at, as well as a new initiative that's being launched for a capital campaign to fill the funding gap on the development of the park that will be out at after this ceremony, Veterans Memorial Park. And Bill and Les Banks have been very active on that. You'll hear more about it later. But as for today, we appreciate your attendance here. We appreciate the attendance of the organized groups, from the Scouts to the choir, the fire, and the police, the veterans, Honor Guard, which always leads the way. So with that, I thank you all. I thank the community for the warm welcome that you've always provided to me over the past 2 years. I promise not to be a stranger. The town is interviewing very good candidates to take my place. And when they come on board, I guarantee you that I only live in Woburn, and I will dedicate the time so that we will have a proper transition and have this office not miss a beat between my departure and my successor's arrival. So with that, we'll start something new where the Veteran Service Director does not appear to always own and lead the community observance for our veterans. The community will lead, and this entire group representing the community in honoring our veterans this year. So I'll turn it over to our Veterans Council Chairman, John Fitzpatrick.
Good morning, everyone. And thank you all so much for being here and giving, testimony and tribute to our veterans community and our veterans, both who are still with us as well as those who are no longer with us and are departed. First and foremost, in addition to the other things that Colonel McGovern gave, our police, our fire, all of those who are supporting this event, for which we are so deeply grateful. I also have to emphasize what a remarkable tenure Colonel McGovern has had before his impending retirement. We have not had, and I say this not in derogation of his predecessors at all, or to minimize their contributions, but we have never had in Arlington a director of veteran services, or as they are often referred to, a veteran services officer, who has truly lived the job with the dedication and the focus and determination to serve our veterans than Colonel McGovern has during his time with us. We are so deeply appreciative. And so, sir, thank you very much. Thank you for your service. And I just want to second also, in addition to Colonel McGovern's thanks to everyone, our police and our fire departments, and all of their support that they're lending to us today, in addition to the Scouts, and there are so many others in this community. We'll hear from some local students, and they're just wonderful contributors. In addition to that, I would also like to echo what you just heard about our attempts to renovate the park right now that is adjacent to the fire station, and to a more updated and fitting tribute to our veterans. So anything you can do, there are brochures available throughout the firehouse here. And again, thanks to the fire department for lending us their space, their workspace like this. That's so kind. But please take a look at the brochure and consider how you might be able to help us in this effort to upgrade this park, which is in need of repairs and renovations. And any input that any of you would have would be so very, very welcome. So thank you again for joining us all on this Veterans Day as we gather to celebrate the service of our veterans, both living and who are, as I said, departed. We're once again honored to have the Boston Skyline Chorus with us today. These wonderful ladies are always with us every Memorial Day, as well as every Veterans Day, the 2 days in which we give thanks and recognition to our veterans and currently serving military members in our community. And their contributions are always so lyrical and melodic and wonderful and appreciated. So with that, if you are able to stand, for those of you who are sitting, but only if, please rise as they sing our national anthem with presentation of the colors. Thank you.
Trust
Thank you again for that rendition. That was so appreciated. Next, we'll get underway with an opening prayer by the Reverend Mark Bishop. He is the pastor of the Catholic parishes of Arlington and is a United States Navy veteran, although I am part of a multi-generational Army family, including my daughter, who is a West Point graduate and still on active duty at various parts of the world. I am not going to say, go Army, beat Navy, so I will not say that. But Reverend, thank you so much if you could get us underway today.
Thank you. I did serve most of my time with the Marine Corps, so we'd beat both. Semper Fi, happy birthday, Marines. Let us be in prayer. Oh God, we give you praise for this opportunity to come together and give thanks to the veterans in our midst and the veterans we hold in our hearts. We know we gather here today in freedom because of the sacrifices of those who have served our nation in the armed services. Our veterans are the significant reason why we gather here without fear, and we give them thanks. And we give you, dear God, thanks. Amen.
Thank you, Reverend, and your point is well taken about the Marines. So, anyway, thank you. So, what is this all about, November 11th? Well, it started in 1918 at the 11th hour of the 11th day in the 11th month, when more than 4 years after World War I had started, after 15 to 23 million military and civilian people had died, and about as many were wounded, the nations at war stopped fighting in accordance with a terms of armistice that their representatives had signed just that very morning on November 11th of 1918. After the war, this day became known around the world as Armistice Day to remember the fallen. In 1954, here in the United States, then President Eisenhower renamed November 11th Veterans Day to honor all United States veterans who ever served in the military. Every year, this day and another, Memorial Day, are set aside for us all to reflect on the valor and service of our veterans in our community and who have departed, as well as those in our community and from our community who are currently serving military personnel, standing watch in our defense, both at home and in the remote corners of the world. It is understandable, with so much else to keep track of during our busy daily routines of work, school, and home, that we may take their continuing service and their continuing sacrifice for granted. But sometime today, please consider taking a moment to reflect on their selfless devotion. Those young people from our community, as I said, including my daughter, to our national defense, especially those younger members currently on duty with our armed forces, both here and overseas. It is thanks to both their sacrifice and the sacrifices of those who have gone before them, as well as the sacrifices of their parents and siblings who miss them so dearly. And any of you who have been members of a military family whose young ones are away, and especially when they're away in danger, can appreciate what a sacrifice it is to be such a family member. And that's a sacrifice too. And please think about those sacrifices of all of those in our community, and that we are able to safely go about our daily lives here in Arlington thanks to them. Now, we will have, with thanks, Fire Chief Kevin Kelly, a United States Air Force veteran, who will toll Arlington's fire bell 11 times, recalling the origins of this day and honoring all those, both living and departed, who have ever served in the United States Armed Forces. Chief Kelly, please. Thank you so much, Chief. Thank you. And we will now, again, with thanks, hear from the Boston Skyline Chorus, and they will sing to us, Let Freedom Ring, appropriately enough. And now we'll ask Joe Donovan, a student at Arlington Catholic High School, to come up and to read the Governor's Proclamation for today, for Veterans Day. Joe?
The Commonwealth of Massachusetts, a proclamation. Whereas, since the Commonwealth's earliest days, thousands of men and women have served our country in defense of freedom and liberty. And whereas on November 11th, 1918, after 4 years of conflict, the armistice was signed in the forest of Compiègne by the Allied nations in Germany and in World War I, the war to end all wars. And whereas since that day, every November, people from around the nation have gathered to honor our veterans. And whereas in November 2025, the world will commemorate the 107th anniversary of the armistice that ended the fighting in World War I at 11 a.m., November 11th, 1918, the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month. And whereas there are approximately 300,000 veterans living in Massachusetts, and whereas in recognition of the sacrifices made by those who have served our great nation, Massachusetts remains committed to supporting its veteran community through the HERO Act, honoring, empowering, and recognizing our service members and veterans. And whereas today we are reminded of the great sacrifices and contributions our veterans have made to the country. And whereas we honor and salute those who have served our country throughout the generations with honor and patriotism and courage. And whereas it is appropriate that all Massachusetts residents remember the bravery of those who have served their country, so that their dedication and sacrifice serve as a reminder of the cost of our freedom. Whereas now, therefore, I, Maura T. Healy, the Governor of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, do hereby proclaim November 11th, 2025 to be Veterans Day, and urge all residents of the Commonwealth to take cognizance of this event and participate fittingly in its observance. Given at the Executive Chamber in Boston, this 11th day of November in the year 2025, and the independence of the United States of America, the 249th anniversary. By Her Excellence, Maura T. Healy.
We are very, very privileged and fortunate to have with us several public officials with us today to deliver some remarks in honor of the day's events. First, we have Diane Mahan, Chair of our Select Board.
I was just telling them, Mahan, my maiden name was Snell, so it's an improvement. Can you smell that? Something smells around here. I do want to say on Veterans Day, thank you to our Veterans Affairs Director, Phil McGovern, as well as our former Veterans Director, Bill Yorker McCarthy, for all the service that they give to our women and men who reside here in Arlington, work in Arlington, into their families, which is really very important. And Colonel McGovern, I certainly will take you up on your offer, sincere offer, that we will be seeing you in the future, as we still see Yorker and others. And thank you, Chief Kelly, and all the firefighters for letting us come in your house and hosting this event once again this year. And thank you to all the girls and boys that are sitting so patiently to my right and in the audience. It makes all us old people, me, very happy to see you here. And we're really thankful to see you. And especially the women and men who are veterans. A lot of what they do are for young girls and boys like yourselves, and you can see them in uniforms here. And a lot of them are Arlington police and firefighters, along with Veteran Service Affairs Directors. So, and I'm very honored as being elected board to have a full board, select board here with me today. I have John Hurt, our vice chair, Steve DeCourcy's here, Eric Helmut's here, and Jane Morgan. And I have been bestowed the honor to give some remarks, hopefully brief, but sincere. Today brings us together to recognize the dedication and sacrifice of the men and women who put on a military uniform to defend our nation. Your commitment to service went far beyond wearing that uniform. You accepted challenges that many would turn away from, faced dangers that many would flee, and carried burdens that many of us could not endure. Military service shapes lives in ways that us civilians might never fully grasp. Veterans know the weight of responsibility that comes with protecting their fellow service members. They understand what it means to place duty above personal comfort. They carry the memories of friends made and friends lost during their years of service. Veterans bring remarkable strength to our communities, to Arlington. Their training in leadership, their experience with diverse teams, and their ability to perform under pressure make them valuable employees and community members. They understand what it means to be part of something bigger than themselves. The freedoms we value do not appear by chance, and all your sacrifices ripple through generations. Our children grow up in safety because you stood guard. Our communities thrive because you defended them. Our businesses operate freely because you protected our way of life. The depth of our gratitude should and does extend beyond this single day of recognition. Today offers all of us a chance to say thank you, but our appreciation must extend beyond words. Supporting veterans requires action throughout the year. This means ensuring access to healthcare, education, and job opportunities. It means reaching out to our veterans in our communities and making sure that they know their service mattered and that we care and we are grateful to each and every one of them. So let this gathering serve as a reminder of our ongoing obligations to those who served. May we honor your sacrifices, not just with words, but through our actions and support every day of the year. Thank you for your service, your sacrifice, your unwavering dedication to each and every one of us. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair. And now, James Feeney, our town manager, if we could have him step up and deliver a few remarks. Balancing that budget every year. There we are. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good morning, Arlington. Thank you, Chief Kelly, the officers and firefighters who work here at Central for hosting us again this year. As always, we appreciate you opening the doors to the community. It is certainly an honor as town manager each year to have the opportunity to participate in this ceremony. And I imagine no matter how many times I get to do this, though, I will always feel as I do this morning that I'm simply not worthy of this particular privilege, since I am not a veteran, but benefit every single day from what our veterans have sacrificed. Beyond that, earlier this morning I found myself with the challenge of having to explain what Veterans Day is to my 3-year-old daughter. After we covered the basics, that it's a holiday, that she doesn't have to go to preschool, that there was no work today, and that I would be home to take her for a special mac and cheese lunch, I found myself drawing parallels to the storied work of 2 very illustrious groups. And they are, of course, Paw Patrol and Super Kitties. So I clumsily explained to her that, like the members of those 2 teams, veterans are a very small group of brave individuals of different sizes, colors, and backgrounds who come together in times of need to form the ultimate team. And like her favorite animal superheroes, veterans answer the call, no matter what it is, to help their community at any cost. Where we ultimately landed was that Veterans Day is a day where we take time to recognize our veterans, show our appreciation for their bravery and service, and remind them that it will never be forgotten. As non-veterans, it is our job to take our veterans' sacrifices for granted and to never forget. And as we celebrated the Battle of Menotomy reenactment this spring, we were solemnly reminded that Arlingtonians have stood up and volunteered and sacrificed their safety and lives since 1775. And through the long list of names on the honor roll just outside this fire station, we can trace that same commitment to country and community through the passage of our time. It is indeed the case that the women and men of Arlington have continued to answer the call to protect all that we hold dear, both at home and abroad. So with that, to the veterans in the room with us today, to those on duty today, and to the 44 active employees of the town who are veterans, but also chose to continue their careers in public service, from the fire department to the police department, to IT, to facilities, to DPW, even the treasurer's office. It is my privilege to remind you that you are part of a long and storied military history. So on behalf of the town of Arlington, a place where the Revolutionary War started, a place that changed its name to honor the heroes buried at Arlington National Cemetery, a place known as the birthplace of Uncle Sam, I offer my thanks and never-ending respect to each of you for your service. I, for one, will never forget it, and I will make sure my daughter doesn't either. And to the Colonel, I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge your upcoming retirement. You certainly served your country admirably for many, many years, but your public service didn't stop there. You continued here for the town of Arlington. So we thank you for your service and dedication to Arlington's veterans and their families as our Director of Veteran Services. So on behalf of the town, I wish you well in retirement. Your compassion and thoughtfulness are certainly second to none, and you will be sorely missed. Congratulations.
Thanks so much. In addition to our humble thanks to our other public officials who've been delivering remarks today, we are also particularly privileged to have our congressional representative, Catherine Clark, who is one of the most senior ranking members in our Congress, deliver a few remarks and be present here today with us. So, Representative Clark.
Thank you so much, John. First, I want to thank every single one of our veterans, everyone who has donned the uniform for our country. We are truly a grateful nation. And I want to thank the organizers and the hosts for having us here, especially our fire department, but police, the Skyline Chorus, and all the community members who have joined us before they knew you would also get Gail Ann's donuts. So that is a commitment to our veterans. And I want to just take a special moment to talk about Colonel Phil McGovern. He has been an incredible partner with our office, with working with the state delegation that I'm so privileged to get to serve with and represent Arlington with. But he always puts our veterans first, and he puts that community and acknowledges their services every single day. So, Phil, we will miss you. I have a challenge coin for you, and truly grateful for your service to our country and to the veterans of Arlington. Thank you. It is always a privilege to celebrate American heroes, but in a moment like this, with great times and great challenges before our country, I am especially grateful to be able to salute those who have fought and bled and sacrificed to defend the ideals of American democracy. Every one of our veterans is part of a long and storied legacy. Nowhere more so than here in our nation's birthplace. 250 years ago, a few patriots offered up a proposition that we are all created equal. And every day since, that idea and our fundamental freedoms have been preserved by a select few. Patriots with an instinct for service, whose gut reaction is to put themselves between us and danger. The greatest and most fragile experiment in human history owes its survival to those who wore its uniform. And so the question we have to ask ourselves is, what are we doing to truly honor their service? We love to say, and we should always thank people for their service. The fireworks, the speeches are lovely and important. But what are we doing to fulfill President Lincoln's covenant? Those words are engraved on the VA headquarters right across the street from the White House in Washington. It says, "To care for him who shall have borne the battle, and for his widow and his orphan." That covenant must be preserved, and I fear we are falling short when we are looking to privatize the VA, auctioning off that building to the highest bidder. It is not fulfilled when we have cuts to health care for our veterans or cuts to food assistance. It is not fulfilled by raising the retirement age and poking holes in the institutions of our democracy. We honor our veterans by guaranteeing them the dignity, the security, and the freedom that they gave us. And among the many privileges of this office I am so fortunate to hold, the greatest is to be able to do whatever I can to build an America that is worthy of our veterans' sacrifice. And I thank all of you for being partners in advocating for that vision with me. And I thank all of our heroes, our veterans, for defending our ability to do so, for preserving that radical idea of government of, by, and for the people. We are so grateful to this community of Arlington and to all of our veterans. Thank you, and God bless you.
And next, thank you, Representative Clark. And next we have State Senator Cindy Friedman to deliver a few remarks as well. There you are, Senator.
Thank you, John. Good morning / afternoon, everybody. I'm so glad to be here, especially along with so many neighbors, community members, and our fellow local and state elected officials. So earlier this year, the State House had an inaugural Military Appreciation Day, which we're going to be doing every year going forward. And I was honored to nominate Phil McGovern to be recognized alongside 135 other veterans in the Commonwealth. Since this was the first event, we just received the commemorative pins, so I want to make sure that Phil receives his. So Phil, this is from the great Commonwealth of Massachusetts, and it's in recognition of all of your service to Arlington and the Commonwealth. So, and I don't think you can get too tired of hearing what a incredible support and representative Phil has been for Arlington, for veterans. It's truly been an honor to work with him. So Veterans Day is a time to not only honor veterans with our words, but it's also a time to take stock of how we back up our words with action. We know that many of our veterans are facing increasing struggles. Struggles to find affordable housing. A recent count identified about 600 homeless veterans in Massachusetts. Struggle to access food. There are 21,000 Massachusetts veterans receiving SNAP benefits. Struggle to find accessible and affordable health care. Essential VA health services have been cut to 9.1 million veterans, including life-saving cancer trials, suicide prevention research, nursing staff, and creating long wait times to get appointments. These are essential needs, and in a country that purports to honor our veterans, no veteran should have to worry about housing, food, or health care. And yet they do worry. So it's up to all of us to close the gap the best we can. Last year's HEROES Act that we signed into law includes new policies to assist veterans, including the expansion of our state's Veterans Safety Net program to help with housing, fuel, food, and health care. Massachusetts has one of the most comprehensive programs to support low-income veterans, and we have continued and will continue to expand services in this program. We've also increased tax credits for businesses who hire veterans. We've increased the annuity payments to Gold Star spouses and parents and disabled vets. These are just a few things that the Commonwealth has done in support of veterans, and we must ensure that regardless of what happens at the federal level, Massachusetts does our job in putting actions behind our words of thanks. And we know there's more to do. We actually are aware that many veterans leave services and confront invisible battles, and it's critically important that we continue to bring awareness and support to veterans so that no one has to confront their trauma or mental health challenges alone. And that's why Massachusetts has specifically carved out a part of September Suicide Prevention Month to specifically focus on veterans and their mental health needs. It's why we have a direct line to veteran suicide prevention services as part of our 988 helpline. It's why we've expanded access to outpatient behavioral services for our veterans in the HERO Act. It's why so many of us are focused on ensuring that mental health care is available and paid at the same rate as physical health services so that our veterans can find the care they need. And it's why we must pledge to continue to pass policies that improve how we honor veterans by making their lives a little easier. And we need you. We need to hear from you. What matters? How do we truly honor our veterans in their service? You can help us understand that. Help us make a meaningful difference in the lives of those who are willing to give their time, energy, youth, and for some, their lives for all of us. Let us know what we need. Give us your input so our actions and policies make a real difference in the lives in our veterans. So finally, I want to thank all of the veterans who have served on behalf of our country, and I would also thank this community for showing up to honor the service and sacrifices that they have made on our behalf. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Senator. In addition to State Senator Friedman, we are also very fortunate to have not one, but two state representatives representing us in the House legislature in the State House. First, we'll have State Representative David Rogers. Please come up and offer a few remarks.
Well, good morning or early afternoon, everyone. Happy Veterans Day. It's wonderful to be with all of you, and particularly to the veterans here, thank you for your service. And I'm also reminded of the sacrifices of the families of service members, particularly with Iraq and Afghanistan, 4, 5, 6, 7 deployments. And I don't think it's enough to celebrate veterans just on Veterans Day, but every day. And as we heard from Senator Friedman here in Massachusetts, we have some of the best of the 50 states, some of the best programs to support our veterans. And we need to do more. And, you know, there are very high rates of veteran suicide, and it's tragic. And, you know, we have a program with, there's a team, a hockey team, a bunch of players who are veterans, and they found the camaraderie of being in the locker room and having fun and being together gave them the support they needed when they returned from Iraq and Afghanistan. And we play a scrimmage against them every year, guys who skate at the State House, and it raises money for veterans, and it's the least we can do. Although I did make a mistake, I happened to score a goal and I came back to the bench and I'm celebrating, and my buddy hit me, he said, "Dave, they're the heroes, not you." So at any rate, it's wonderful to be here. I'm reminded today of my dad. He died when I was young. I was just 12, and He served in World War II, and 3 of my uncles, his brother and my mom's 2 brothers, some in very dangerous missions. And they didn't talk about it much. I can understand why. I'm sure the memories are difficult, but you know, we are so lucky in this country, in this state, in Arlington, to have people willing to step up, willing to sacrifice, and literally put their lives on the line. So I feel very fortunate to be among the veterans. I thank you again for your service. Thanks to the Boston Skyline Chorus. You guys sounded great. And of course, thank you for your service, Colonel McGovern. And thank you, Chief Kelly, for giving this wonderful space. And thanks for the amazing turnout. Arlington really showed up. And again, thank you very much.
Thank you. Just to show you the extent to which our public officials have such a great depth of humility, I note that State Representative Rogers, just in passing, spoke about his hockey playing as if it's common for our legislators in the state and federal legislature to be active hockey players. And it is not, so that's quite remarkable, Representative Rogers. And next we have our other state representative, Representative Sean Garabelli.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. Thanks so much for being here. To our Veterans Service Officer, Phil McGovern, you have received a lot of praise, all of it very worthy. And I thank you for everything you've done for the veterans here in Arlington and across the Commonwealth, and we wish you the best success in your future endeavors. To our Veterans Council and all the members, thank you for everything that you do every day throughout the year for our veterans, and to our veterans who are here and across the town. You know, we come together at events like this one here in Arlington, but these events are happening across our Commonwealth and across our country to honor the sacrifice that our veterans have given for this country each and every day. I also want to thank our veterans in the room who are police officers and firefighters and members of the Department of Public Works and all of our public employees. Thank you so much. You know, yesterday, as we celebrated the 250th birthday of the Marine Corps, the town dedicated an important memorial in the pouring rain to United States Marine Christopher Bryan, an Arlington resident who died during the Vietnam War in 1967. An incredible hero, graduated from Arlington High and then went to serve in Vietnam. You know, during his brother's speech, as he reflected on his brother's service, one thing that really struck me was when his brother articulated that Christopher had written and talked about his future plans, what he was hoping to accomplish after he came home to Vietnam. And as we all know, and as we dedicated yesterday, I'm grateful to the Select Board and the Memorials Committee for dedicating this memorial to Christopher, is that in fact, he never did come home. It is a stark and sobering reminder of what our heroes sacrifice each and every day to keep our land free and to fight for those ideals that are so very, very important. That it would be a great speech during Memorial Day, and it is something to remember every single day. But today, as we should do every day, is the day we thank our veterans. And we all come together and reflect on that differently. If you turned on social media this morning, you probably saw a lot of people post photos of their loved ones, their relatives, those who wore the uniform, because that's how they can understand that sacrifice. And that is incredibly important, and that service should be admired and loved. But what we have to understand, and some of the speakers spoke about it, is across the Commonwealth of Massachusetts in all 351 cities and towns, we have record rates of veterans homelessness and suicide and lack of employment and a mental health crisis. So when we reflect today, as we should do every day, on how to truly help our veterans, we come together to make sure that we house a homeless veteran, that we employ a veteran who is jobless, and we seek to improve mental health care for each of our veterans across this state. Thank you so much, and happy Veterans Day.
Thank you, Representative Barbelli. And I just want to add that on a personal note that we should not forget that in addition to the incredible service of our veterans, our public officials, who often are not given their due, also serve us and work very hard at it. An example I think of with reference to Representative Garbelli is when I was away on a deployment to Afghanistan with the Army, we had some family members back here who needed help, and they reached out to the representative's office, and he and his staff were incredibly responsive. There's still something that I carry in my heart with a great deal of gratitude and thanks to him and to his staff. Now we will have, and we're very fortunate to have, again from Arlington Catholic High School, some student participation today. And there was a class there taught by Mrs. Donahue, I believe. Donahue? Yes, is Donahue? Thank you. I'm so sorry. And what she had her class do, and her students did so wonderfully, is write a series of letters to veterans in our community. And I was just telling she and her students how greatly appreciated that is. And I remember, like, at one point in Afghanistan, it was a challenging tour for many of my comrades. And out of the blue one day, we received a bunch of letters, handwritten letters with drawings from a third grade class in Texas. And I cannot express in words how that cheered us and raised our spirits in what was otherwise a challenging tour of duty for many of my soldiers. It's just so greatly appreciated. It really is. So we'll have two of those students read their letters to us, and we are so grateful to them for doing so. And I believe it's an 11th grade class. Is that right, Mrs. Danny? 10th and 11th grade class. First, we'll have Bridget Precourt read. And what grade? Bridget, what grade are you?
I'm a junior.
Junior, okay, junior, excellent. So we'll have her read her letter, and she will be followed by Addison Goodwin, also a junior. So thank you so much to both of you.
Thank you. Good morning and happy Veterans Day to all of you. We would like to introduce ourselves. I'm Addison Goodwin, an 11th grader. And I'm Bridget Precourt, also an 11th grader. We are only two of the many 11th and 10th grade students of Arlington Catholic High School who wrote letters of gratitude and love to the veterans of the town of Arlington. We are here to read to you two of the letters. We hope you like them. Thank you for your sacrifice and service to our country and to the world. This letter I will read is from a 10th grader named Daniel. Dear Sir or Ma'am, I am writing to express my gratitude. As a young man aspiring to go into the armed forces, I really do look up to you. You put your life at risk for this country, the highest form of honor anyone can do, to lay down their life for another. And for that you give everyone and I, writing this letter to you, an opportunity to grow up in a safe country. I want you to know that you are loved by God. I have many family members in the Army, and it really pushes me to join as well. You serve as a beacon of hope and a motivator to all. Last thing, I truly wish that you live fruitfully and gracefully. Have a good day, from Danielle, a student of Arlington Catholic.
This letter I will read is from another 10th grader. Dear Sir or Ma'am, I hope this reaches you well. My name is Ava, and I am a student at Arlington Catholic High School. I wanted to take a moment to thank you deeply for your courage, dedication, and the sacrifices you made to serve our country. I think often of how much strength it must have taken for you to leave behind family, comfort, and safety in order to protect others. Your willingness to serve reminds me of the selfless love that Jesus showed to all of us, a love that reminds us, asks for nothing in return, but gives us everything. Because of you, people like me can grow up in a safer and freer world, and I will never take that for granted. Your service did not just defend the nation, it also inspired countless lives. You have shown what it truly means to live with honor, faith, and purpose. Even though we have never met, please know that your sacrifices have shaped the lives of so many. I also want you to know that your impact goes beyond the battlefield or your time in uniform. Every act of bravery, every hardship you endured, and every moment you stood for what was right has built a legacy of hope and service. That legacy inspires people like me to live with more gratitude and to find ways to serve others in our communities. May God bless you and your loved ones. I will continue to keep you and all of the veterans in my prayers. Happy Veterans Day. Sincerely, Ava, a student of Arlington Catholic.
Thank you so much, really, and thanks so much to Mrs. Danahy and to the Arlington Catholic High School students. That is greatly appreciated. I should also mention that a group of elementary school students from the Brackett Elementary School also wrote a collection of letters to our veterans in our community, and that is greatly appreciated as well. Let's see. And next, we will hear from the Boston Skyline Chorus. Again, thank you, with thanks, ladies. And they will be singing Let There Be Peace on Earth. And if you're following our program, that will be followed by our closing prayer from the Reverend Bishop. So, thank you. To close out our ceremonies and our observation today, we would ask the Reverend Bishop to offer a closing prayer.
Thank you. I want to thank my students from Arlington Catholic and St. Agnes for doing such a great job. Thank you for being here. Great job. On the wall of the auditorium at 1st Battalion, 29 Palms, where 1st Battalion 25th Marines was preparing to go to Iraq. It says on the wall that No Man's Ghost said, "He isn't trained." He wasn't trained. And that training continues beyond the service and the combat. And we had many trainings of bringing men back, of which I was responsible for a lot of it as we were coming back through the 3 weeks it takes to come home. And it still took me 19 years to ask for help. So I want to thank Phil McGovern for being there when I asked for help. And thank you very much for your service. And it is true that Massachusetts has the best program for veterans, having had to been on the phone with men that I serve with from Ohio and California and throughout the country and Texas and all these other places, being on the phone, talking them into going to the ER as they were considering taking their lives, being so far away, but still being able to help them. And in Massachusetts, you bring them to their veteran service officer, you bring them to local places, and it is truly a blessing. So, but that's all to be in context, put this prayer in context. So let us pray. Oh, great God, look down on those people today who are suffering. No one is immune to suffering. But today we want to pray for those still hurting from wartime wounds, physical and emotional. They have seen heartache, held sorrow close to their hearts, and now they suffer. Begin a new work in their life today. We pray for those men and women who have served. Let them feel your comfort. Help them seek the help that they might need, and let them know we do not forget them or their service. Amen.
Thank you so much, Reverend. So now to close out today, we will ask the Boston Skyline Chorus once again to step up and deliver a wonderful rendition of song, this time America the Beautiful. That will be followed by a brief wreath-laying ceremony just outside here at the Memorial Plaza that we're seeking to upgrade. Another sales pitch there for trying to help out with that effort. And then afterwards, if you would like, you're invited back here to have the storied, legendary Galian donuts that you've heard so much about, which are right here, along with some coffee. That's available to everyone after our brief wreath-laying ceremony outside. So, with that, thank you, Boston Skyline Chorus.
America.
Thank you again, ladies. And so now we'll transition out to the plaza here for a brief wreath-laying ceremony. Thank you so much to all of you for being present today and by your presence giving testimony to our community's gratitude to our veterans and those service members from our community still serving around the world. Thank you all again so very much.